Here are the most recent deaths in the national news, as reported at Legacy.com in the first week of December 2024. Legacy.com is where you can find any obituary or publish an obituary in any newspaper in America and beyond. Actress Silvia Pinal died November 28, 2024, in Mexico City at the age of 93. She was a star of Mexican stage and screen who won 4 Ariel Awards, an honor granted by the Mexican Academy of Cinematographic Arts and Sciences to recognize the best in Mexican cinema. Pinal is being remembered for her work in the films of movie maker Luis Buñuel, including Viridiana, The Exterminating Angel, and Simon of the Desert. Actor Wayne Northrop died November 29, 2024, in Woodland Hills, California. He died of complications from Alzheimer's disease at the age of 77. He was best known for his role on Days of Our Lives as the original Roman Brady in the 1980s and 90s. He returned to the show in 2005 as another character, Dr. Alex North. Northrop is also being remembered for his roles on the soap operas Dynasty, playing Michael Culhane, and Port Charles as Rex Stanton. Olympic fencer Peter Westbrook died November 29, 2024, in New York City. He died of liver cancer at the age of 72. He won a bronze medal at the 1984 Olympics, becoming the first black fencer to win an Olympic medal and the first U.S. fencer to medal in 24 years. Westbrook is also being remembered as a coach and mentor who helped develop the next generation of fencing talent, including 4 Olympians. Basketball coach Lou Carnesecca died November 30, 2024, at the age of 99. He was the longtime basketball coach for St. John's University in New York City, where he reached the postseason in all of his 24 seasons. He is being remembered for his 526 career wins and for the colorful, often unusual sweaters he wore on the court. Carnesecca was a U.S. Coast Guard veteran of World War II. Musician Bob Bryar died in November 2024 at his home in Tennessee at the age of 44. He was the former drummer for My Chemical Romance, most notably on their 2006 hit album The Black Parade. Pryor is being remembered for playing a key role in one of the most influential bands of the 2000s. A note to remember, sometimes personal information, such as someone's cause of death, is not announced immediately by their family or the authorities. When a cause of death has not been officially confirmed, we do not report on rumors. Every family has a right to their privacy. Screenwriter Marshall Brickman died November 29, 2024, in New York City at the age of 85. He was best known for his collaborations with Woody Allen. He co-wrote Annie Hall, for which they won an Oscar, as well as Sleeper, Manhattan, and Manhattan Murder Mystery. Brickman is also being remembered for co-writing the Broadway musical Jersey Boys, and playing one of the dueling banjos made famous in the movie Deliverance. Racing driver Mary McGee died November 27, 2024, at her home in Gardnerville, Nevada. She died of complications from a stroke at the age of 87. She was one of the first women in the U.S. to race motorcycles, and in 1975, she became the first person ever to compete solo in the grueling Baja 500 desert race. McGee is being remembered as the subject of the new documentary Motorcycle Mary, which was released by ESPN the day after her death. Public health policy expert A. Cornelius Baker died November 8, 2024, in Washington, D.C. He died of hypertensive atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease at the age of 63. He was a leading advocate for extensive HIV/AIDS testing and care, even in the early days of the disease. Baker is being remembered for spearheading the effort to make June 27th National HIV Testing Day, and for directing the National Association of People with AIDS. Boxer Israel Vázquez died December 2, 2024, of sarcoma at the age of 46. He was a Mexican super bantamweight, best known for his series of fights against his chief rival, Rafael Marquez. Vázquez is being remembered as a 3-time world champion. Actor and wrestler Scott L. Schwartz died November 26, 2024, at his home in Covington, Louisiana. He died of congestive heart failure at the age of 65. He was best known for his role as Bruiser in Ocean's 11 and its 2 sequels, especially for the memorable scene in which he pretended to beat up George Clooney's character. Schwartz is also being remembered for his earlier career as a pro wrestler, when he went by the ring names Giant David and the Israeli Commando. Stock market guru Art Cashin died recently at the age of 83. He spent more than 50 years at the New York Stock Exchange, where he became the highly knowledgeable director of floor operations for UBS. Cashin is being remembered for his long-running daily column for his clients and for his frequent appearances on CNBC. Dr. Kelly Powers died December 1, 2024, at her home in Colts Neck, New Jersey. She died of brain cancer at the age of 45. She was a surgeon who became known for her frequent Fox News appearances on shows like Fox and Friends, discussing medical topics and offering health tips and advice. Powers is being remembered for sharing with viewers her own struggles with cancer, including chemotherapy, radiation, and immunotherapy. In addition to featuring current deaths in the news, Legacy.com also honors the lives and legacies of notable people who died in the past. Here are some of this week's anniversaries. 1 year ago this week, Justice Sandra Day O'Connor died at the age of 93. She made history as the first woman appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court. 25 years ago this week, actress, comedian, and singer Madeline Kahn died at the age of 57. She was known for movies like Young Frankenstein, Paper Moon, and Blazing Saddles. 35 years ago this week, dancer and choreographer Alvin Ailey died at the age of 58. He was a legend of dance as the founder of the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, dedicated to honoring Black culture through dance. Musician and songwriter Dennis Wilson was born 80 years ago this week. He died in December 1983 at the age of 39. He was a co-founder of the Beach Boys, who played drums in the band and wrote some of their songs like Little Bird and Forever. Comedian and actor Richard Pryor was born 84 years ago this week. He died in December 2005 at the age of 65. Considered one of the greatest stand-up comics of all time, he is also known for such movies as Silver Streak and Harlem Nights. Actor Victor French was born 90 years ago this week. He died in June 1989 at the age of 54. He was known for his roles on TV shows like Little House on the Prairie and Highway to Heaven. Singer Billy Paul was born 90 years ago this week. He died in April 2016 at the age of 81. He had a #1 hit in 1972 with Me and Mrs. Jones. TV and radio personality Dick Clark was born 95 years ago this week. He died in April 2012 at the age of 82. He hosted American Bandstand for more than 30 years and was a fixture of the holidays with Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve. Actor Jonathan Frid was born 100 years ago this week. He died in April 2012 at the age of 87. He starred on the gothic soap opera Dark Shadows as the vampire Barnabas Collins. Politician Shirley Chisholm was born 100 years ago this week. She died in January 2005 at the age of 80. She was the first Black woman elected to the U.S. Congress, representing New York in the House. Every week in the United States, flags are lowered to half-staff to honor the lives of Americans whose communities are mourning their loss. Here are the most recent half-staff memorial flag honors. Flags in Wisconsin have been lowered to honor the memory of former state representative Betty Jo Nelson. Flags in Minnesota have been lowered to honor the memory of Red Lake Nation tribal officer Jesse Branch. Flags in Wyoming have been lowered to honor the memory of former state representative Jerry Eichel. Flags in Vermont have been lowered to honor the memory of former state representative, Milton town manager, and Milton volunteer firefighter Don Turner. Flags in New York have been lowered to honor the memory of Omer Nutra, who was killed during the brutal Hamas attacks of October 7th, according to information released by Israeli government officials this week. You can read more about the lives of the people featured in this video on Legacy.com. At Legacy.com, any family can publish an obituary in honor of a loved one's memory, online and in local newspapers everywhere. Just visit Legacy.com and select your local community. You can also follow Legacy.com on Facebook and subscribe to our channel here on YouTube to stay up to date on national news deaths.